All right, teachers and staff, here we go. This is Mr. Bray. I am coming at you over the Labor Day holiday here to hopefully give you a rundown on how the new Amazon ordering process is going to take place. Now, I actually did all of the work on the computer and thought I was recording my voice, but apparently I wasn't. So now I'm going back over this video with you and we're going to get into it, and I'm just going to follow along with all the work that I did before. So hopefully we're going to get started right now. We're going to go into atoka.org like we would with anything, and we're going to go to our menu section. And once we're in the menu, we can now go down to this new area here that's called request forms, where I've organized all of our request forms, and you'll see our third one there listed is Amazon order forms. So when you click on that, it's going to open up a new Amazon order form, which is basically just a Google link to a form. And I think in this tutorial, as I did it, I read a lot of. I'm going to let you kind of read down through this. You can go through this on your own time. But I will definitely highlight some of the most important things as we go along through it. But basically it tells us that moving forward, we're going to use this form, that anything that's required must be answered and all options must be selected that are required. I've made some hyperlinks throughout the form to try to make it easier on everybody. And this is where I kind of stop and say, hey, look, you have to have your PO number. And if you click on this actual hyperlink here, it's going to take you to Wingage. In my instance here, I was already loaded into Wingage, but this is where I could go to my purchase requisition area and download a copy of the PO if I don't have one already. And this basically tells us, hey, you need your PO before you move forward. I've already got my PO. I've set it here on the desktop. And so if you double click on that, you're going to see, hey, I have this PO right here. We're good to go. In the amount of 556 for some cables that I'm going to be purchasing. So now we're going to slip back over into Google Chrome here, back to our form, knowing that we have that, we're ready to go, because that's going to be a necessity as we move forward. Again, if you don't have it, this is a great place to hit the brakes and say, oh, I have got to go get my PO before I can proceed. And if you'll notice, as we go down through this form, I think the very first thing that it tells us here is that our email is going to be recorded, and you can just click on that little area there. I don't actually know if I click on it here. I actually don't do a lot of the stuff as I go down through here. I just tell you how to do it, and then I come back and do it here in a few minutes. But please list your name of the person requesting the items, not who's filling out this form. I know, for example, in the elementary, it might be Emily filling out this form for somebody. I want to know who this item is for. So if this is for Ronnie Wilt, then please type Ronnie here, not Emily. Again, you need to have your PO number. It may seem redundant because you're going to submit the form, but if you go ahead and type the number in here, this helps us on the bookkeeping side. If we can open up the spreadsheet and very quickly see the PO number, we can make adjustments very quickly if we need to. Again, this is where you're going to add that file. So you just click on add to file, browse, and in our instance, we're going to go to our desktop, and then we're going to grab that PO for cables that's sitting on our desktop, and there we go. It's added. We're done. That's super simple. Don't let that intimidate you. Remember, that's available to you in wingage.com/Atoka, which that hyperlink is up above in that explanations at the top of the form. Easily attach that PDF and roll on to the next one. This next one is if you know the project code or the fund by which you're going to be purchasing. For example, here you have the general fund, or maybe it's 412 or Carl Perkins. If it's business. But we want you to list that here. If you don't know it, simple. Just type unknown because you don't know. But if you do know, this will help in the process as we, everything we do is to try to make things easier and better. That will help us. So this next section is the actual, hey, this is where we're going to list the item that we're going to purchase. So I'm asking you to place the URL, which is the line code for what you're purchasing, and I'm going to give you an example of that here in just a second. That way, it eliminates the possibility that we get the wrong product. And having gone through the process of putting in Amazon orders myself, I know exactly how difficult this is, and I've seen some very horrifying copies of copies where the paper is copied sideways, and the quantities are skewed, and it's black and white, and it's messed up, and the font was small and you can't read. We don't know, and it's really easy to mess up and make a mistake on trying to figure out the ramblings of scribbles to figure out the item that you're listing. If you put the URL down here, it takes that variable out of the scenario. So basically, we want the quantity, how many you want, and then the URL. And so I think I'm going to give you an example here by going to Amazon.com, and I'm going to look for, I think in this case, I'm going to look for a desk. So I'm just going to go up here and type desk, and I'm going to say, this is the desk that I want. I want this 36-inch, this desk by depth here, it's 36 inches. I think I ended up going the one with the LEDs because, I like LEDs. So I click on it. Now, if I want to get the URL, all I have to do is go up here to the top, highlight this field, right click, and hit copy. Now I have my URL. Now in the form right here, it just says, please begin to list your items below. I want 3 of these desks. So I'm going to put 3, comma, and then I'm just going to right click and I'm going to paste. Or I'm going to hit Command V or Control V, depending on what type of computer I'm on. But I'm like, hey, so I need another item. So I need some paper to go with this. So I go back and I search for copy paper here. So I find the copy paper just as an Amazon choice over here, this ream of 4,000 sheets. I click on it. Hey, that's the one I want. I want that one. So I'm going to copy that URL, and then I'm going to go to my order form, and then I'm going to simply put on here, I need 5 of these reams. So I'm going to type 5 and then a comma, and then I'm going to hit paste and paste in that item. Now I pause here to tell you about customizations because it's what the next line says. The next line says that we understand that if there were any customization of the items listed above, like color or size, you should have made those customizable selections before you copied and pasted that URL into the order form. And here's what I'm talking about. So in here, in this particular one, you can come in here and you can select all of these different options for this item. You need to have picked your color, whatever size, if it's a 6-inch or an 8-inch item that you're purchasing, whatever it is, those customizations need to be selected before you go up and copy the URL. Once you have selected your customizations, then you go and select your URL. And then after you've copied that, you can go back and paste it in and you are good to go. Again, you need to say yes here that you understand, because if you do not understand that, your item that you put on there may not be exactly what you were looking for. So don't forget to make your customizations. I think the next thing that we're going to be looking at here is just going to be the location of the delivery. We're going to get to that in just a second. I was apparently talking about something. So in this instance, I chose the middle school. And then, there may be a circumstance that comes up that requires special shipping. I know I was looking at some orders the other night for some chairs, and I think Miss Bray found out the shipping on the chairs was going to cost as much as the chairs to purchase. And so that's not us being very good stewards. If we can find a better solution for shipping, then that's what we're going to do. And in that instance, whoever's making this order needs to understand, hey, I'm ordering something that's going to require freight, and that's probably going to cost more. So I kind of need to go through the process of making this purchase and seeing what it's actually going to cost to ship the item before I get the PO. Because that way, once I go in to submit my PO, if I know that it's going to cost me an additional $400, and you can do that just simply by trying to process an order. Even if you do it on your own Amazon order, you're going to get an ideal. Like if you logged in as yourself and you try to ship something to yourself, before you hit submit, you can see what the shipping is going to cost with that product. And then when you go to submit your PO, you know that, hey, it's going to cost an additional $500-600 to ship this thing. And if that's the only option that we have, then you can just include that $500-600 of shipping into your PO process for shipping. That way, when you go to get your PO and attach it to this order, you're good to go. And this area just gives you an opportunity to just tell us if there are some special circumstances on the shipping like that other than standard. and just gives you an opportunity to let us know so that we can, be good stewards of the money that we have access to. We have money right now, but it's not always guaranteed. Lastly, here, we understand that all these orders are submitted on a first come, first served basis. In the event that we surpass our purchasing limit, which does happen, as an organization, there may be a period of delay while the account is caught up. And you also understand that your item will be ordered in the most affordable manner unless special shipping was included in the PO process, which is what we just talked about above. And you're going to have to select yes or there's no other option here. You just have to understand those things. Then if you want a copy, you just toggle that switch there to send you a copy of your responses. And then you're going to hit submit. Now, I don't think I hit submit right away. I actually go back up and try to fix all of my answers right here, but I'm not going to make you stick around for all of that. If you have filled out the form and you did all of these correct, then you hit submit. You'll get a copy of that. You'll know that you did the form correctly, and you'll be good to go. So I hope this is helpful, and yeah, good luck. If you have trouble, just be sure and submit a request, and we'll try to get some help over to you. I think this will streamline a lot of things for both people. So good luck. We'll see you after the break.